I feel like I'm getting Colonial Marines again. I'm definitely hoping alpha means like maybe they just sent us a really old build. Really hope that that's what the case is here, because God, this is bad. I was so young back then, so naive, not so right.
Hello? Anyone out there?
What the hell?
This is where we hang them, isn't it? They broke into the police station, tried to burn the register so the Germans wouldn't know which kids to take.
Are you a tourist? You dress like one. Hey, look up your board bags. I'll piss in your corpses.
We're coming for you, you greedy bastard!
Must be nice to have a closet.
Over here. You want to get thrashed?
I was definitely right about it being an alpha. Shortly after the release of that video, Compulsion Games got in contact with us and said, why were you playing our year-old build? Why didn't you play the actual media version? Now, these mix-ups happen. During the course of my recording session for that, I kept asking John what else was in that email. Was there a code? Was there an alternate download link? What was going on? He said, nope, they just gave us one code, you download it, and they said that's what you were supposed to play, so that's what they're releasing. Nope, that was not the case. Someone did not do their job, be it a PR person, be it just a general communication error within the company. It took them until slightly after I talked about how horrible the game was to go, that's not the game. So how is the full release of We Happy Few feeling? It's alright. You know, it's fine. Don't get me wrong, it is certainly head over heels above what they gave me originally. That was just a dumpster fire. But the full release game, the amount of stuff in it, the amount of stuff you can do, the quality of life improvements they've added that I was sort of worried about when playing the alpha, but you know, didn't want to really talk too much about. It definitely feels like a better game. The puzzles you'll run into as you go along, the reward you get for searching for things, the way the world actually feels cohesive and packed in with great elements that add to the story, the lore of what happened in this world, this alternate history of our own. I have to say, I'm impressed by what I'm seeing, but at the same time, it's not like it's too groundbreaking. There's a lot of stuff in it that doesn't feel like it necessarily has to be there. It sort of feels just like either a minor detail that doesn't actually pertain to anything, or maybe just an unnecessary element overall. But it's kind of one of those weird feelings where it's like, I guess I'm okay with this, not necessarily not okay with it. For instance, the addition of the skill tree, it simply appears that you gain points over time. You can kind of throw that into skills. It doesn't seem to like lock me out of anything depending on what I pick. The melee in the game feels rather simplified. Basic rock, paper, scissors. You either attack, block, or push. If someone's blocking, you push them. If someone's attacking, you block. If someone's trying to push, you can move out of the way, maybe attack them back. It's perfectly fine. What I am interested in is the fact that really beyond their readjustment to making the game a survival game, to try to add those elements into it, it feels like an all-right action RPG. Like Dishonored before it, Compulsion Games feels like they're just trying to generate a universe for us to explore, a way to explore a story that they want to write. They've given it rules, its own history, visual cues that are related to what might have happened after the events that occurred. It makes it feel like an interesting world to explore, and definitely wants you to get out there and take a look at everything and see what you can solve, what you can gather, what kind of reward you can achieve by doing things in this dystopian society. And because that world feels 100 times more well constructed than the alpha build, it's actually fun to explore. That's probably one of the big things. The addition as well of many of the cutscene based memory flashbacks that occur, it makes the world feel better. It gives it more weight, gives the story more weight, definitely. And that's what makes it an all-right action RPG to check out. There's nothing too wrong about it. The pacing's okay. The characters you meet are actually kind of interesting. So far, it hasn't blown my mind or anything, but it's been a pretty fun playthrough, specifically because of the new method of picking your quality of gameplay. The survival elements of We Happy Few never really appealed to me. I never liked the idea of having to manage the drugs you have to prevent you from being sick, how much joy you need on hand. I never liked that side of it, the whole min-maxing of your inventory to prepare for things that occur, to make sure you don't get too hungry, get too thirsty, get too tired. That just felt like a thing tacked on to an already existing structure. But in the alpha build, it seemed that as you increased the difficulty because you wanted the AI to be more interactive with you, it would also increase the elements of the survival side of the game. Did not enjoy that. Thankfully, in the full release build, you get the ability to create the type of game you want to go through entirely. Do you want it to be like a sandbox where you just get to explore and check stuff out? Do you want the survival elements in there? How seriously do you want them in there? How bad do you want this AI to kill you? What level of difficulty in combat do you want? You just get to select from a slew of different possibilities and see where it goes from there. You get to create the game you want. And I'm okay with that because I got to turn the survival elements off. It's just an aesthetic thing. I'm not saying someone out there is probably not thinking, man, I can't wait to play it to see how far I get before I die. I'm gonna try the one life run through. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure I make it to the end of the game on the hardest settings. Great, good for you. This game will supply that to you, which is interesting because not a lot of survival games seem to have this in-depth of a story. So you're probably going to be getting a really amazing experience out of it for having access to that side of the game. And I'm happy Compulsion Games is giving that to you. I don't feel like it's all that common in the survival game market right now. But then there's another part of me that feels like the elements to the story, the mechanics used, they're not that detailed, or they're not that maybe well conceived in this game. Maybe because of all the effort that had to get put in to implementing the side of the game that is more focused on survival. So by cutting that part off of my playthrough, I've also cut off a major part of the gameplay itself. And that just has me torn overall. At the end of the day though, I'm just happy to have experienced it at all. I can't wait to get to the end. I can't wait to see what happened to Arthur's brother. I can't wait to get all the information I need as to why this society is doing what it's doing. Why are they drugging themselves to forget what happened? Why are they pushing through that kind of a life? Why, when someone is immune to that drug, do they throw them out of the city to live life in the wilds, in the ruins, to just be out there and angry and sad all the time? I can't wait to meet more of the people involved. So if it's story like that that grips you, if it's story like that that'll at least pull you into any game, it doesn't matter what genre, what mechanics are attached to it, you should probably pick up We Happy Few. Hopefully over time they might refine some things, they might adjust some things. Going forward, I believe there's plans for DLC. Maybe there'll be stuff in there that might add to the overall feel of the game. And again, thank you to Compulsion Games for letting me know that what I had wasn't right, because I was about to leave this game at the door, and I'm really glad I didn't.
Lovely day, Fred.
A lovely day it is. Not many people get this far. It's sort of a test. Someone who gets this far usually puts up a decent fight.
Hey, just working on some merch for the channel. You know, you can check that out. There should be a link below for that type of thing. There's also some thumbs. You know, thumbs, they do things. And if you like gaming and tech content and you haven't already, don't forget to hit that sub button. And check back Monday through Friday so you can watch some Newswave with John.